Welcome to camp, everyone. This is going to be our spot for a couple of days. Unfortunately, it rained for a lot of the walk in, but so we've got a little bit damp, particularly the little one there. So we're going to very quickly gets things pitched up. Well, it's not a waterproof pack, but it kept the rain off that for the hour that it was raining. Simon, you asked about a big pack. This is the Gregory Paragon 58, and it is pretty immense, if I do say so myself. So my original plan was not to bring the kindergarten. My original plan was to Northmoor, Exmid, and do a few days hiking on the Northmoor with the Exmid. Unfortunately, they're firing on the Northmoor now, so we can't. Oakhampton range is fully occupied, and I thought, okay, well, I want to come out camping. I want something fairly local this time. And and if we can get away with the kindergarten, then obviously it would be nice to do so. And I think we're kind of just about there. I think we can manage this weather. Right, so the wind is coming across, so I don't want this blowing away, so I'm just going to very loosely peg the front out, because this is the Hilleberg Nammajt 3 GT, so it's just a good idea to make sure that all of your lines, before you start putting pegs in and poles in, are in approximately the right place. So, and that's nice and flat through there. So I'm just going to grab 2 more pegs and just, with a lot of slack on it. I'm not even going to use those pegs for that, but I really just want those pegs to just hold it down, really, because it's a little bit of a behemoth. I have to get it repaired, because the last time that I used it, unfortunately, a peg came out and put a hole, not a very big one, thankfully. Yeah, so this is probably one of the last times this year that I'll get Lizzie out. What I'll try and do is I'll try and get down here again a little bit later in the autumn here, and then try another camp with her here. It's all about managing. Ooh, that was a tight one. it's all about managing her really, because like I said, unfortunately it rained when we walked in, and of course she's got wet, so I've taken her coat off. So basically I want to get this up and get her inside pronto. She's already okay. I think what I'm going to do, because that's a very rough pitch, but it's not very windy and it's not going to go anywhere. So let's get, I'm kind of thinking let's just get Lizzie under cover, because we can finish Lizzie. I even carried my chair with me. Right, let's get that round there. Okay. Oop, Lizzie. Right, because if we can get in here, then we're out of that wind, because we've got to go and get water, and so we've got more to do. We're here for a few days, so everything can be sorted out. And of course I didn't put her waterproof coat on, which would have been half useful. I think she wants some food as well, so we'll give that to her in a minute. That's your food. Oh, let's get you dry first, and then there's more food there. So Lassie carried their food, and then Lassie also carried their Liz's clothes. Right. Oh, Lizzie drying time. Oh. Can you hear Lizzie grumbling? She's grumbling because there's the food here. She's grumbling because she doesn't want Lassie near it. Oh, there you are. You'll warm up as well with that food. She's a little terrier. So last time we had the world's smallest. Oh, Lassie. Lizzie. Oi. There's plenty of food for you, Lizzie. So we've got a nice warm coat here, so we're going to put that on her. Now when she goes outside, so if we go down to get water, I'll take this coat off. I'd rather that and we won't go and get water when it's raining, I'd rather that she got not cold but cool when we're getting water, and then, you know, keep her dry in camp. And then she's got this coat as well, and then the coat that she wore in is this one here, and that's saturated, so I will try and dry that to see whether we can dry it. Okay, so we've got her now dry. Oh. I must admit, it is nice in here. So that's Lizzie tucking in. She'll warm up in a minute. I've got plenty of bedding and God knows what else. I brought my MLD, I don't know if you can see it there, but I brought the MLD quilt basically for Lizzie, and my trousers are soaked. I'm not wet. Well, I mean, obviously the trousers are wet. I'm wearing the new Vaporize jacket. This is one similar to what Chris wore in Scotland, and it seemed, you know, it seemed good enough for Chris, that, you know, I thought I'd give it a whirl. So I must admit, it kept the shower off. It rained for a good half an hour, quite heavy. It's not waterproof, but it did, it held it back. I think it got through eventually, so I will, when I settle down soon, I will take, you know, this off, and the merino, in fact it's a Miko thing, Rab Miko underneath. I will take that off, you know, and put completely dry on. My shoes, I wore waterproof shoes, but I think my trousers got so wet with the rain that my shoes got wet in the end. But again, hopefully I'll open up all the vents once we get settled in. So the next thing to do is to, you know, just get it pitched a bit more properly. But yeah, I mean, this is nice. Are you getting on there, little Lizzie? But it is nice in here. I must admit, if I don't mind carrying this thing, it is rather nice. So that's Lizzie tucking in. We've got plenty of foam mats. We've got a bit damp, but we've got foam mats galore. Lizzie is really tucking into that. We haven't forgotten you, Lassie. We haven't forgotten little Lassie. We can't forget you, Lassie. All right, so that's your first day of food. Good girl, Lassie. Good girl. Good girl, Lassie. Little Liz has decided to nick Lassie's, and little Lizzie kind of did a sort of, Lassie, very good, you just ignored her, didn't you? Very good, Lassie, very good. There's plenty for you, Lassie. You're going to eat more than she will anyway, and she doesn't even eat all that's in her bowl over there. I think it's a case of someone else's food tastes nicer. Oh, good girl. Oh, look at the size of this thing. Oh my giddy aunt. Okay, all right, well, let's get it. We need to get it pitched a little bit better, I think. Now we've done our preliminary pitch. We've got a half an hour. The sun sets at about 6 o'clock. Okay, now what I've done, I brought these little shepherd hooks to try and to save a few grams, and I'm using the shepherd hook on these points here, and then I use the bigger peg on the long lines. So let's start at the back. I do like this shelter. It's madly crazy. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously crazy. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take these pegs out here, these low ones, just for the moment, because we want to get everything else kind of tight first. So I don't think we can get that. Well, actually, what we can probably do, and then we can now pull that one tight and get that one in there, and that one tight, and that one in there, and that tight. So that's basically the back done. So what we'll do is these here, put them at about a 45-degree angle. Obviously the Hilleberg website probably has a much better video on setting this thing up. What I would just remind you is make sure your door is completely done up, and then this one at a bit of a slight 45-degree angle. I remember the very first time I set this up. I set these up as like an a straight entrance, and then this one at a slight angle like that, 45 degrees. The interesting thing is, I think when they designed this, I think they designed it to be pitched rear into the wind. I reckon originally it was designed rear into the wind because you've got four pegs there, obviously one there, and then you've got these two here, which kind of you pull this way. I suppose this one you could angle it this way. So I suppose if the wind is going to the left, you could do it that way. So I suppose you could do that. Don't forget to tighten up these. I think recent wisdom is to pitch the front to the wind because the back was pushing down on the sleeping system. So I think recently they've said to pitch it, front to the wind. But obviously with the front, you've got 2 pegs versus 4 at the back. It's just, it seems to me that this one here is kind of angled probably more this way. I actually feel like there might be some more. There's more rain in the air, so I might. Ow, Lizzie, her coat's coming off. Rain. Okay, all right, let's just see whether we can just super quickly, because it really isn't supposed to rain very much. You see, I suppose you could, if the wind is going that way, then I suppose there's no reason why you couldn't have that angled, that way. I think it's blowing over, thankfully. Okay, all right, so what we've got then, so we've used the big pegs on all of the outer ones. Okay, and then simply just use these little pegs, because we saved a 4 kilogram tent and we saved about 6 grams on these little pegs. Okay, all right, that rain is coming back again. Let's Lizzie, come on, under here. Let's get under here. Oh, Lizzie. All right, so we've at least got we've got that pegged out. We'll let that rain ease off. That's dripping. Coat's dripping wet. Well, we do have to get water, so that's the only thing left to do. I think realistically I'm going to go and get water, now, while the going is good, and then, because like I said, it's going to be dark in 15 minutes is sunset. Liz has found her. Liz has found her bed. Oh, Lizzie. You can see Lizzie charging around. Like I said, I think she's better off now anyway when it's this type of weather. If she gets wet now, then I can just dry her off quickly rather than getting anything else wet. We've got one coat wet already, which we're going to have to try and dry out. But the forecast is, to be fair, pretty decent the next few days, so we shouldn't have too many problems really. Oh, that rain is right. Well, like I said, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna, I think, better just to get this water and then get into camp. If we get wet, we get wet. We'll sort it out when we get back. Everything is dry. Lizzie, come here. I really feel like that rain is going to whack into us in a minute. 3 waters. Okay, the weather outside is right for dee-da, dee-da, dee-da-da. Lassie, come on. Oh, it's kind of one of those that it could be that we wait 20 minutes and then it's dry, but I kind of sort of think, well, let's just get the water, because we're already wet. We're already going to have to get stuff out. Liz has had some food. We've dried her off, rubbed her down, so we'll just give her another. She's straight in there. Oh. And she's got the idea. Food and energy. Good evening, everybody. What we've got here is water on to boil, and we've got either an expedition meal. I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to have that one. I can't remember which one it was now because the writing on the back has come off. Or a homemade own meal thing. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the expedition today, we'll do my chicken tomorrow, and then that's actually more chicken as well there. So we'll talk about that as well. That's actually coming up to boil. So I think and of course I've only got the small pan. I think that pot is just about a 550 pot. Is just about big enough. Okay, that's coming up to the boil. Okay, all right, so I think what we do now is let that stew for 5 or 10 minutes. The time is 10 to... Some people might think, why does he camp so much? Well, I reckon every night that you're sleeping in your bed is one less night in your tent. And when you think about it, we only get, what, 10,000 days? No, probably more than that, doesn't it? I mean, 80 years times 365, you know, so let's work it out. So if you think, let's see. So if you think about it, so let's assume, okay, so 365 days in a year times, we'll say 80 years, because we probably won't be camping. Well, no, we won't say 80. Let's say we probably won't start camping until, say, 10. Let's see, leave that. So we probably won't start camping until we're 10, although I suppose fathers or mothers could take us out. So, and then we probably go on until we're 80. So say 70 years. So 365 times 70 is 25,550 so 365 days by 70 years, you know, presuming that we live until 80, and I've said 70 years because we're probably not going to camp in the first 10 years, is about 25,000 days. So every day that we're not camping is one less day of those 25,000 that we're not camping. Anyway, you get what I mean. All right, so we'll give that a few more minutes, and then we'll see what it tastes like. I'll have to have a bit of a sort out in here tomorrow, I think, given that we're going to be relaxing here. Let's check the temperature, because that's very important. It's not going to be cold. It's probably going to be about 12 degrees or something like that. I'm not far out, 13 degrees. So it's 13 degrees at the moment, so it's really quite pleasant, really. I think the lows are going to be about about 10 or 11, I think. It shows how cold a sleeper I am. This is a 0 degree quilt, and I'm more than cozy. More than cozy in it at 13 degrees. I think the expedition meals are better in their packets, to be honest, but I think for space, weight and bulk, it's handy to take them out. Okay, all right, well, I'm going to leave that for a few minutes. I've put Lass's bed over there, although obviously she's got it wet, but then the ground is wet and she's on the ground. I think she's keeping an eye on my food there. Just about timed that perfectly. Okay. All right, we'll do that. And we'll do... Oh, listen to that rain. Oh. Oh. Wow. Oh. Lizzie, come here. Lizzie, come here. Come here. Oh. 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 Oh, Lizzie. Oh, that's a real humdinger. Oh. I don't think it's not supposed to last. Wait. Wait. Little red coat. Oh, Lizzie. Wait. There you go. Okay. All right. So, luckily that coat didn't get wet. Because we basically got, I should have put the other coat in. So basically I've got two dry coats and then that one that's wet and that's dripping. And that rain has stopped now. Oh. You got to stand up almost and get over here. Stay there, let's see. Lizzie? We'll open this up. The interesting thing is, I noticed that a lot of people, they say that mesh is very cold, you know, in that it doesn't stop any cold getting in. I actually disagree, because it actually felt quite warm until I opened that mesh. So everyone who's always moaning and complaining that a mesh inner isn't warm enough, I'm not saying it's as warm as a solid inner, obviously, but it certainly makes a difference, you know, if you have a mesh inner. All right, I'm going to put this ground sheet, that's Lass's, and we'll put that, I've got to get up again, over here. Okay, Lassie, move. She probably won't even, but now that it's wet, come on down there. There. But now that it's wet and cold, then I like to put that down, and then she's got the option as to whether she uses it. And then when it's very cold, then I'll put a foam mat, you know, on top of it again. Okay, let's see what we've got. So the tent was in there, so that can go down there. That's my wind shirt. That's my Arrow top. That's something new that I got. That's a torch. Well, you know, like a camera torch thing, and batteries for the GoPro, so we'll put that there. Knife and fork and such have you. Put that there. Fuel, just put that there. We'll probably end up having to sort things out. I'll move the pack over that way later, because I find I need to angle and have my head this way. That's first aid. Oh, and gloves. Gloves and first aid and repair stuff. So hopefully we don't need that. We'll chuck that down the back. More fuel. I brought chicken, so tomorrow hopefully we're going to have a chicken feast. That's my answer to a footprint. That's my answer to a footprint if necessary. Just a bit of plastic or something if you need something covered, if you know, or just the foam mat. Either or. That's my power packs. Toilet paper. Put that there. That's the stove. Ow! Ow! This packet, it's pretty big. That's my tea. So that's very important. Oh, that's the peg bag for something. That's for the quilt. The peg bag, the peg bag for the something. The peg bag for the pegs. That's soup and porridge for breakfast. More fuel. We've got plenty of fuel. That's dinner, that's food. Snack bars. The stuff at the bottom is slightly damp. That's another one of my meals. We'll have that soon. And this is basically my night stuff in there. So the stuff at the bottom of the pack did get damp, so that rain did get to the bottom of the pack. But like I said, it's not a waterproof pack, so it's not really a surprise. It was pretty wet out there. At least it has stopped now. That's waterproof jacket, waterproof trousers. It's slowly starting to get darker and darker now. I'll look at the time in a minute. It's 5 past nearly, so that sun will be setting any moment now. That's it. So that's everything out of the pack. Pretty short. So we'll just put that back there. All right, I think what we need to do is to get inside here. Lassie, go back. Because we're not we're not going to be going outside. Lassie, go back. We're not going outside again. That is for sure. So that can go there. Let's dry that out with that. It does mean we're getting this towel wet, but we've got 2 other towels, and hopefully this towel will dry quite quickly. Let's get the laundry mat up. So we'll get that up there. And then okay. All right, so all nighttime stuff is in there. Now this, your lass is already looking. Do you want to go outside? Not you, Lizzie, you stay there. Go on then. Lizzie, stay. This little head's come poking. You coming in or you going out? Not you, you're staying in here, Lizzie. It's like Lassie's at the door. What are you doing, Lassie? You coming in or what? You going to stay there, are you? Hey? You going to stay there? Okay. Oh, Liz has settled down. Liz has settled down in Liz's bed there. Oh yeah, she's making a bed look. That's funny. That's an old MLD quilt, that one, so I'm kind of, it's okay for her to use that. Alright, now settle down there, see. Okay, alright, so basically we're in camp and I've got this foam mat down here for me. I've got this bit here, which I'll put down here, and then that's handy to lean on or something like that. But obviously if Lassie needs it, which I really don't think she will, then I can then put it down. I must admit, whilst I brought the chair with me, I did save weight and not bring the pump with me. Probably could have put it in for the few grams on top of this, but I thought I would, I thought better to try and save some weight. Okay, I'm going to get my wet, because my socks are wet. So I'm going to put them up there. It'll be interesting to see whether any of that... Do you want to go outside? Go on then. Hey, you want to come inside? You don't know what you want to do. And I know what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. She doesn't like... Go and lie on your bed over there. Go and lie on your bed. Go and lie on your bed over there. She doesn't like that bed. I think it's the crinkly of it or something. Go and settle down over there, Lassie. All right. All right, so we're going to get some air in here. And then I'm going to get into my night. get out of this slightly damp stuff. And then we're going to settle down for the night. And we've just about done it with some daylight around. Okay, well, you've seen me undressed before in other videos. You've seen me pump up a mat. So I think I'm going to do this turn off, otherwise the video will be a million years long. So I'm going to get into bed and we'll kind of catch up a bit later. Look at this silly dog. You see that?